Hello, everyone. And right here, I am just turning in tokens because for some reason Bungie decided that tokens were going to be useless for next year, and so I have almost 11,000 tokens to just throw away. I've already done a few of them. I'm a little low on legendary shards, so hopefully this will help out there. And then let's see if I can get a few weapons I like. I would like a let's see what's in the loot pool right now. There's this. I don't think I've ever gotten my perfect Dire Promise, and even though it gets sunset soon, and I kind of expect personally, based on the community reception, and like I hate sunsetting. Like, what I don't understand. The implementation is terrible. The idea is stupid. It's mean. It, so I expect them to fix it to revert that. Sorry, that was my Discord. I expect them to revert sunsetting, but until then, I guess we just gotta collect what we can collect, right? So let's see what we can get. Some robes. God roll armor would be good because I haven't played very much this season, and I think my armor's a little going on the outs. That would not be ideal for I want to do some GMs. Guillotine. I have the perfect roll of that. Ikelos, though. I do not have a god roll Ikelos SMG. Revolver's a good oldie. Memory of Cade. Rip. May he live in peace. Sunset Armor. Sunsetting Armor. 2 seasons left is what I'm saying. So like anything from season worthy goes away in 2 seasons. Ooh, a Dire. Okay. We're talking now. How many times do I need to click? Gosh. Oh, an enhancement core. Alright. I mean, what they're doing, though, with the vendor is interesting. So, like, what they're gonna do is... It's not what we want, to be honest, but we always say in the right direction. It's kind of a waste of time at this point, but whatever. What they're doing... Okay. Ooh, Seraph's round... Oh, save. Looted barrel. Alright. Major spec, probably. Yeah, so I've gotten something good already. So what they're doing is they are taking the current token system for Shaxx and they're getting rid of it. So all these tokens at the end of the season, FYI, by the end of this season, not the end of the year, this season. So right now, they're going to get trashed, essentially. All right. So you should spend all of these tokens that you have if you care. You'll get a lot of legendary cards. A lot. And hopefully a huge amount of enhancement cores. But what they're doing is they're getting rid of this. And they're leaving bounties. They're leaving. I don't know about what they're doing with this, with the featured armor, but and that kind of thing. But what they are doing is they're having a setup of almost like a battle pass for Crucible. So when you look at the season pass here, you have this kind of setup, right? So let's say from here, this is rank part 1 of 10 of hitting 2,000 Valor points, which is maxing out one season or that season's crucial rank and being able to reset it for like control and stuff. So what they're doing is it'll be like little pieces of gear that'll like a legendary engram, a focused legendary engram. I think at the very end, the first time you run it, it's an Ascendant shard, and then after that you run the whole reset. the whole power reset, that ascendant shard becomes an exotic engram, and exotic engrams are they don't, unfortunately can't drop the really new stuff, but they if you don't have a lot of this stuff, a lot of these are really good. Like this exotic is the most underrated, probably warlock exotic ever. So underrated that I don't even use it yet. I probably should. Transversives can be rolled in it, etc., etc. And so they're doing that, and then like upgrade materials. But what they're not doing, that's kind of unfortunate, is they're not doing more of this. So when you have like the featured armor, right? So overall, I think this piece of armor looks pretty cool. It's cool machete and stuff. But then, and the roll is pretty nice. The roll is pretty decent. But the thing is they're not doing this with, say, you put in this column you have Dire Promise or Waking Vigil when that comes out next season. They haven't signaled that they're doing that yet. So say that if I could, like, for, I don't know, 20 enhancement cores by Outlaw Opening Shot, which is a roll that I had on my Waking Vigil before sunsetting. What if I could just buy it for like 20 enhancement cores? That seems fair to me, or like that roll doesn't have to just be the same thing. Like it can, that roll can change on like a daily or weekly basis. It'd be cool if they even did curated rolls, and so the idea would be it's not just randomly rolled items. So like you get like, say like the daily weapon is 7th Seraph, and you get something garbage like this, which to be honest, this is a really bad roll. Pulse Monitor. I mean, if you're in Crucible, if you're hurt enough to use this perk, you're either insane and you're a boss, or like it's too late. And then Feeding Frenzy's like meh. This roll overall, I'd give like a 2 out of 10. So hopefully it wouldn't be rolls like this that could roll through, but maybe like I had a cold front that had Dragonfly at one point when it was bugged. I actually had one. What if the roll for that day was surplus Dragonfly? Right, surplus Dragonfly in the roll of saying, just as an example. So you buy surplus Dragonfly for one day only, and it's a curated roll. You can't roll that naturally, right? You couldn't actually get that in the loot pool. That would be really nice, but what they're doing right now is kind of just adding more materials, which is okay because I'm unlike other names that you've definitely seen on the internet. I don't have many at all. So yeah, I am getting a good bit of legendary shards here. So the next thing I wanted to talk about, really was sunsetting while I open all this loot. And just kind of cathartically sit here and click. Sunsetting for everyone has been a double-edged sword, I tend to think. There are some things to sunsetting that I think were helpful. I was 100% against it at first. I had friends that were 100% for it. The reason that I was 100% against it was because I realized what it would entail. And what I mean by that is, here, off topic, going to my vault. It's little casualties that don't matter that much, but like I absolutely loved it. Let's see if I can't find it. Where's my loaded question? And by the way, I refuse to scrap things. I'm one of those players. I've scrapped quite a bit, but not stuff I loved. Okay, sorry, I'm blind. Loaded question. This is my favorite fusion rifle in the game. I put 8,000 kills on a special weapon. Okay, these are all, of course, PvE kills. Some of them are Crucible kills, but many more of them are PvE kills. It's one of my favorite things ever. You shoot it into a crowd of Thrall, and they all explode like fireworks. It's so fun. You have to have it fully loaded, but it has fully auto-loading holster, so cool symmetry. It was a black armory weapon, and it was one of the three pinnacle weapons. So this one, Recluse came after, and so like what, Oxygen. These are the pinnacles that we had. Let's see what else. This is technically a pinnacle, even though this isn't the original roll, but you got a huge amount of kills with a debuff and Iron Banner, and you get a curated roll of this, that was pretty good. mine's better, but curated role. Those were and like Luna's and Not Forgotten, or in my case, Bought Forgotten, because I bought this from the kiosk. I didn't earn it, but like Luna's Howl, like all of these weapons that were really powerful were the pinnacle weapons, and the side of sunsetting that is reasonable is that those were too powerful. Insert Mountaintop, right? Mountaintop was probably one of those like top 10% used weapons. You said like a grenade launcher. It was probably like 10% of the player base would use it at one point. I'm not even kidding. Like, or at least definitely the sweat player base used it. It was like unbelievably overused because you had a rocket launcher in PvP, for instance, and in PvE it would two-shot most majors in raids, one or two-shot majors in raids. So like, oh, Postmaster.
I'd be right there with you if these rookies
so like,
just learned to fight.
if you're one-shotting, say, or coming close to one-shotting an ogre in like one of the raids, what comes to mind is Crown of Sorrow. Crown of Sorrow, there was an ogre that would spawn, and you have to town it quickly. Well, guess who has Mountaintop? That's a bad roll. Or not what I'm looking for anyway. You run Mountaintop, and you down that thing in 2 shots. You just fire, get back to cover, quickly reload, fire, get back to cover, quickly reload. There's no difficulty in it, and there's truly no repercussions unless you kill yourself, which I am, by the way. I am a master at committing suicide by grenade launcher. 100% best thing I can do. That's really not bad. Sunset armor. Getting rid of Mountaintop and the unbelievable power creep there, that I understand. Totally get it. I really do. It's when you're getting rid of random stuff. Like, my friends and I absolutely love having unique weapons and having many weapons. And sometimes we also like having, just normal things. Like normal utilitarian things that you're just going to use at any time, or like might you just use for a strike or something. What comes to mind is like a rocket launcher or like an avalanche. So like rocket launchers in the current meta are essentially cookie cutter. They're all the same, right? This right here is a different role. I went for quick draw snapshot because I'm a lunatic and I want everything to be like super snappy and crucible. Sometimes it's so fast that the gun doesn't even register it's out and doesn't fire immediately. I've run into that a few times. But so I have this, right? So this rocket launcher, I originally had like 10 seasons ago, or 5 or 10 seasons ago, and I had a very similar role. It was rangefinder and rangefinder auto-loading holster and a bunch of velocity. So it's similar in the fact that the velocity is super high. That's just what I needed. And it gets sunset. And the thing about that is that I kind of went, why? Because a rocket like this doesn't do anything. This is not Mountaintop, right? That's not Mountaintop. I mean, you can't even really make the argument like that gnawing hunger. Like there's some irritation from other streamers, like for instance DFP Chic, who has a gnawing hunger. This is my PPE one from the season pass. I have one that's essentially identical to one I had from back when Season of the Drifter was a thing, or at least I think I had it. I don't remember, but it was one that I definitely had before the season where they brought it back into Loot Pool, before Season of Arrivals. And it was Zen Moment Kill Clip. The Zen Moment Kill Clip is really good for controller players. Zen Moment gives a huge amount of stability boost. The reload's okay. I think if I had Drop Mag, that would have been... I really like Drop Mag, because it reloads quickly. And then Kill Clip, of course, made it hit at one point where it's like it undoes the auto rifle nerf now, Back then, it was like you're hitting 40s with a 600 RPM. It's just overpowered, and it felt really good. So I would use that, right? But then when sunsetting rolls around and Seasons of Arrivals hit, all of those weapons were sunset. All of those weapons were either like right before Beyond Light drops. Right before Beyond Light drops. I don't know if I have one still. I might have gotten rid of it. I'm not sure. So let's just act like since I don't have my old gnawing hunger apparently, let's just act like this is my a gnawing hunger, right? So right before this was done, right? So I had my gnawing hunger. I was already, I had this, and then Season of Arrivals rolls around, and they upgrade the number, the arbitrary number next to its actual power number, and they say no, but these non-hunters have the upgrade power level, not these. So this one gets to die, despite having a very similar perk set. I think this can actually roll, by the way, on Hunter. But or something very, very similar that can roll. But then here is your new one with your new updated number. And so people said, wait, why can't I just have this one too? And Bungie has never come out with a coherent answer to that. Like the answer to why not this. Why can't I have both? And that's really unfortunate to me.
Did you show the darkness what light can do?
Just like when they talked about bringing back the Dreaming City weapons, Sleepless was a rocket launcher I preferred over. It was a rocket I preferred over Shining Sphere. I liked it a lot more. It just looked better and felt better, and the sight was clean. And when they said they were bringing it back, I thought, well, geez, like, I'm glad that I'm going to get Sleepless back, but you just took mine from me. You just took my original one, right? And then when they talk about bringing back Waking Vigil is different to me. Waking Vigil is the only situation, the new hand cannon, it's a 140, new old 140 hand cannon. It's the only situation where I'm excited for sunsetting, for the unsunset of that one, is because the original never had a damage perk. What if the new one can roll with One for All, and so you have a 140 with One for All that's capable of hitting for 90 to the head for 10 seconds after you kill 3 people, right? Or what if it comes with Swashbuckler? You have a 140 that can 2-tap after a melee kill. I mean, there's just a lot of fun stuff, and it was a really good weapon originally. I thought the recoil was a little high because I was a console player back then. But it's doable, right? So that one's a little bit more exciting. However, it is old content. Another example from that, Vouchsafe. It's a scout rifle from the Dreaming City as well. Absolutely love that weapon. That was probably one of my favorite weapons ever. I think that I've ever played with. I had a Dragonfly roll, and Luke Smith was talking about a game fantasy. That was it. And so, will I re-roll in the Dreaming City for one of those? Yes, I will. I will also be there for a Waking Vigil in the Dreaming City. So, with that in mind, going back to the problem with sunsetting is that I just don't understand why, like for instance, Coldfront, this is literally a 1-to-1. It came out in this season, right? It came out this season. It has 1260 power limit. The original has 1260 power limit. This one doesn't. The only thing different about the entire perk pool, I'm pretty sure, is just One for All. And oh yeah, Surplus. It can roll Surplus. 2 different perk differences, I'm pretty sure. And so why not bring up the ones that we already had? And why not bring up the ones we already had with it and keep those going with the new arbitrary number? And so essentially, people like veteran players like me who have a like 490 out of 500 vault space vault, or 500 out of 500, haha, vault can like actually people like me who have a 500 out of 500 vault can keep their stuff for later. Oh, I lost my cores. I don't care. Or prisms, I mean. So that when this rolls back around, when interference comes back, and like say they bring back faction rallies in the far future, that I already have a perfect roll of it, and I could just pull it out of my vault, fresh. It looks just like new, and so I can use that again instead of having to roll for another one. The other issue I have with sunsetting is the paid content part. So I've played this game for a long time. I have been here with Destiny 2 since my friend the Corn Chili and we played week 1. I was in his basement. Got together like right before school started one semester, late in my high school years, and we played for hours. We talking like hours and hours and hours. We ran when it was the one perk year one. It was one perk per weapon, and no random rolls, no exotics were kind of meh or really broken. And so, and week 1, fun fact, if you guys weren't there, week 1, the Walker's public event on Titan, now Sunset Destination for new players, and I'm sorry, which I don't like that by the way anymore, but Titan had this public event where you'd heroic it and it would drop 2 Walkers, and week 1 it had like, it was some ridiculous thing. I think it was literally 50 or 60% drop chance for exotics. We had every single exotic that was droppable week 1. If not day 2, I don't remember. But we had every year 1 world drop exotic like very quickly. And so that was fun. But that tells you how far back I go with this game. I have spent money on this game since 2017. Yeah, that's it, 2017. And I've enjoyed it a lot. I have had a lot of fun in Crucible. I've had a lot of fun making the few videos I've made thus far. And I would love to do it again. It's just that I've gotten to the point, I don't see the point anymore. Like, you see all this gear. See all this gear. Okay? You had given this to me 2016, 2017, right when I was playing Destiny with Corn Chili. We were having best time in the world. We sucked. We were blueberries, but we were like the definition of blueberries. But we had so much fun. I see this drop on the right side of my screen, I'd be screaming. Right? You see all this loot that I have? Right? Now, I know the situation's a little bit different. I've been playing for longer than I was from then. Like, back then, I literally joined the end of Rise of Iron, so I was not... I had the game since, like, 2014, but I did not play it. In fact, originally, I was like, what is this? I don't understand. I don't think I made it through the tutorial kind of thing, right? Whereas now, I absolutely love the game. I love the story, love the feel. It's just... I've gotten to the point where I don't get the point. Like, even this shiny new sniper that I absolutely love, freaking accurate as crap. I've only played like 5 or 10 games with it, and my sniping skill has been a little off. But I absolutely love this thing. Look at it, it's beautiful. Why would you ever put a shader on it? You know, even though you're actually, that looks pretty good. Still, sorry. But look at this thing. This thing's beautiful. Only problem, it expires in a year. Putting an expiration date, putting a number here, saying Memento Mori, remember death in Latin. Just doesn't it doesn't mesh well with me. I don't like that. I want to be able to get something that seems cool and think of it that way forever. I'm looking at Felwinter's, which just feels different. Like Felwinter's is of course meta overpowered, but I'm just saying, I'm looking at stuff like this. I'm looking at, slug shotguns. Just something that I want to be able to use forever. And then, like, they were talking about doing Sunset Exotics. Well, think about it this way. This right here is my favorite exotic in the game, armor-wise. You run it with anything solar. I prefer Well of Radiance. You put Well of Radiance on, right? You have this on, okay? You get a melee kill with Sunbracers on, and you get infinite solar grenades, or you get to throw 5 of them, no more than 5. And it's based on melee abilities. So what I started to do is I started to play with builds, right? I was like, what can I do with this to make it infinite? So I found this mod, momentum transfer, causing damage with your grenade. You throw 5 of them, so there are a lot there. Reduces your melee cooldown. Increases the duration of solar grenades. They burn for longer. They burn ads. They do a lot of damage to ads. Solar melee kills grant limited, right? So what I did was I started building off of that. And then I had what I would do is, in case I'd be running Monte Carlo, which is an auto rifle in the kinetic slot, it would allow me to recharge my melee in some cases just one enemy kill. In Crucible, it's always one kill. Yes, I have made this work once or twice in Crucible. It's crazy, but it does. But you get all of these. Yeah, I have a build that's starting to build. There's also there's a mod from a few seasons ago that hopefully won't get sent out on solar armor. This is a solar head helmet, Wrath of Rasputin, solar splash damage. Final blows have a chance to spawn Warmind cells. The splash damage, it's kind of just like you hit them with the grenade, it definitely counts. I think if they die in the grenade anyway, it counts. So I don't think it really matters. And so this thing just becomes a Warmind cell generator. You run another mod called Global Reach, and it makes it to where they go boom. Warmind cells go boom, boomer, then boom. And then you can run other things like burning cells. Destroying a Warmind cell creates a burst of solar energy, so it does DOT, damage over time, after having a massive explosion. And there's also one where you can it's as simple as you pick up a Warmind cell and it gives you melee energy. Right here, Strength of Rasputin. Collecting a Warmind cell grants you melee energy. So that's another way. That's another way to get straight back to your melee, to throw more grenades. I also like to run it with some fun things, like I'm looking for, by the end of the season, one that has Wellspring and I think Surplus, or no, Ambitious Assassin, because like you get a kill and you can fire 2 more immediately after, so 2 shots in one, essentially is what it comes down to, but it eats through ammo. It's a lot of fun. And then it recharges your abilities. Again, Wellspring recharges abilities, right? So everything is to charge abilities on these builds. But then if they were to sunset exotics, this one is immediately on, for instance, Sunbracers, immediately on the chopping block. This came out in Curse of Osiris. Or no, actually, no, this says it was original. This was Red War, so this is literally Year 1, Season 1. It's the way Bungie would look at it. This is Year 1, Season 2. Year 1, like all the best Warlock exotics are Year 1. Starfire Protocol, Year 1. Year 1 Transversives, Year 1 Lunafaction, Year 1 Sunbracers. This one's new, but still not the best, in my opinion. Ophidian Aspect is still Year 1, Year 1, Year 1. You get the point. Now, if those get sunset, all of those are gone. And this is a Year 1 sword, by the way, as well. So, there's more. But if they sunset exotics after following, look at this. you have weapons to this quality. You have weapons. You have things to this quality. This is brand new, right? But just look at that. Doesn't that not make you feel amazing? You have these weapons, right? You have these things, and as you use them, you feel in different ways based on what you want to feel like. This makes you feel like kind of like a cowboy almost, sliding into places. You like the metal and the wood finish, and like the artists are amazing in this game. This You're shredding through anything, and you feel immortal. You just keep W keying everything. This one lets you fly to an extent, because you can throw yourself off walls. This thing just hits really hard, etc., etc. The guns make you feel a certain way, right? Then why take that from a certain player that likes insert weapon? Why would that's why sunsetting gets to me. I don't understand. It feels almost mean, because like, what if in a year there's a kid that absolutely loves this bow, that just the best thing that ever happens to the game. This is the reason he plays Destiny 2, right? So maybe he joined free to play, maybe he was a new light player, just joined, best thing ever to him, and he got it, say, the season before, so like season 15, I guess. He gets it in like season 15, but then next season it gets that little white symbol of it's dead, it's sunset now, it's not useful anymore. How does that make that kid feel when he logs in the new season going, I can't wait to play this game again? I'm just saying. I don't like that bow, by the way, but I'm just saying, think about it that way. And that's kind of the way I feel about sunsetting. Well, if you made it through this much of me rambling, then thank you very much. There might be a part 2 to this. It'll probably just be a montage of me opening that last 8,000 or so tokens. But if you did make it this far, please be sure to tell me your thoughts on this. And also be sure to like and subscribe, and have a nice day.